What's up guys, in this video I'm going to be doing a review on the new MacBook Air 11-inch. I've been using it for my travel and as my daily computer, so I think I've got a pretty good grasp on how I like it. So let's start off with the specs of this thing. Of course, this is the 11.6 inch model. There's also a 13.3 inch model. I'll tell you why later, why I went with the 11 inch one. At its thickest point, it is 0.68 of an inch, and at its thinnest, it is 0.11 of an inch, if I said that right. Which makes it thinner than the iPhone 4, and if you think about it, it's pretty crazy considering it's a laptop. You can see it compared to my MacBook Pro 13 inch, just how much thinner and smaller it is. This thing weighs a mere 2.3 pounds, which is super light for a laptop. It only has flash storage, and you can get it in sizes of 64, 128, or 256 gigabytes. The model I have has a 1.6 gigahertz dual-core Intel Core i5 processor, or you can go with the 1.8 dual-core Intel Core i7 processor. You also have the option to choose between 2 and 4 gigabytes of memory. I went ahead and went with the 4 gigabytes. It has the Intel HD Graphics 3000 processor, a built-in iSight/FaceTime camera, which is unfortunately not HD like the new MacBook Pros, and of course it comes with a 3.5mm headphone jack, as well as 2 USB ports and the new Thunderbolt port for fast transferring speeds. It does have an SD card slot on the 13-inch model, whereas the 11-inch model that doesn't. It has a really nice full-size backlit keyboard on it, and you're going to get 5 hours of battery life on the 11-inch model and 7 hours of battery life on the 13-inch model, and both models come with 30 days of standby time. So now let's get into the actual review and tell you what I like and dislike about the new MacBook Air. So I love that this thing is super portable, thin, lightweight, and at the same time durable. With this aluminum body, it's actually really durable. It's actually surprising that they can make a computer that thin and lightweight but still strong at the same time. I seriously love the size of this thing, and I'm kind of glad I went with the 11-inch model. I've been using this in bed. It's just easy and don't care about it. It's just sitting in my lap, and it's not too heavy. It's just the perfect size. I used it on the airplane. It was easy to put in the little cubby pocket thing in front of me and didn't take up any space. It was good to have on travel with me because this is the only computer I brought, and it did just fine. I did all my daily activities and video editing and stuff like that on it, and the 11-inch screen was perfect for all the stuff I do. Actually, while I was at VidCon, I had to upload a video, and I did it on my MacBook Air and was carrying around the conference as I was going, and it wasn't bad at all to carry it around. If I'd have tried that with my 13-inch MacBook Pro, I'd have had to set that thing down tons of times. It was actually kind of hard for me to decide whether to go with the 11 or the 13-inch because the model I was buying was only making the 13-inch $100 more, which is a pretty good value for 2 more inches of screen real estate as well as an SD card slot. But the reason I ended up going with the 11-inch is because its size. That's why I was buying the computer. I already have a 13-inch MacBook Pro. I didn't need a new computer. I wanted a computer that was portable, lightweight, and I could take anywhere with me just like I could an iPad. And it does just that. I also felt kind of stupid if I would buy the 13-inch because there's a MacBook Pro 13-inch that has way better specs than it for $100 cheaper. Now it is the same price as the one I bought, $1,200, but again, I bought this thing for the size. Now one question I know I'm going to be asked is, should I get a new MacBook Pro or should I get the MacBook Air? That's really all up to your decision. Do you want something that's going to have more power, or do you want something that's going to be super lightweight and not really that much a difference in speeds and power? Now you guys know I do a lot of videos, so editing and export times are really important to me, and this thing is just as good as my MacBook Pro. I'm guessing it's because of the flash storage is what makes it so fast, but it seems like the export times are just as fast as my MacBook Pro 13-inch. Now this is the older model, but it does a great job for video editing for how small the computer is and the specs for the computer. I kind of use my MacBook Air like most people do an iPad, like it's something you just take everywhere with you, but at the same time, if I want to do powerful stuff like video editing or photos, I can do it. But again, I'm happy I went with the 11-inch, and now it has taken the spot as my main computer for daily use. Now again, because this does have flash storage, it is super fast. The sleep-wake times are super fast with this computer, as well as the boot time with this computer. If you did see my first setup of the MacBook Air, I actually did a first boot up, which was considerably slow, but again, that was the first boot up ever of the computer. This is like the iPhone and the iPod Touch. When you turn it on, it instantly works. Now I have noticed with Lion, it actually made it a lot slower, but I'm not going to blame that on the MacBook Air. That's Lion's fault, which hopefully Apple will fix soon. What I'm talking about is when you open the computer up and you go to the login screen, it actually takes a little bit longer to load up than I would hope for. But again, I think that's Lion's fault. The new MacBook Airs, of course, have the backlit keyboard, which for me isn't the best feature. I think it drains battery more than anything, and I don't really need to look at my keyboard to type. But if you're in the dark, great feature, and it's nice to have it on the little MacBook Air. The Thunderbolt port is also great. It's going to offer you way faster speeds than a USB will. I actually haven't got to use the Thunderbolt port yet just because they're so expensive, and I'm kind of waiting for that technology or more cables to come out from other companies that don't cost 50 bucks or whatever the price was. So that's everything I like about the new MacBook Air. Let's talk about the negatives, and there are a few of these, but I can justify for them. So one thing I didn't like about the 11-inch model is that it doesn't have an SD card slot. Now remember the 13-inch one does. Now what I did to fix this is just bought a little USB drive, and it lets you plug the SD card right into it. I bought it for like $4 off Amazon, so that wasn't bad. Another thing is that it doesn't have an Ethernet port, which again you can buy a little USB stick for that. I didn't end up doing that, but I do upload a lot of videos, and some of these are big files, so I do like plugging my computer up to Ethernet just so it uploads a little bit faster, but at the same time, it's not too big of an issue. I will take the size over not having an Ethernet port. Now, on all the MacBook Airs they've ever released, there's never been a CD/DVD drive, which doesn't bother me at all. Everything is online anyway. I don't know why you would complain about that. If you use CDs anymore, you need to upgrade to newer technology. Now one thing that kind of bothered me about the 11-inch model is that it doesn't have a lot of wrist space for when I'm typing or when I'm using the trackpad. Now it didn't bother me that much, but a little bit of wrist space would have made the computer a little bit better, but again, that's why I went with the 11 inches, because it's small. One big negative to the new MacBook Air is the price. It's still pretty expensive. The cheapest model coming in at $999 for the 11-inch and $1,300 for the 13-inch. Of course, you can make it more expensive by upgrading the flash drive to a higher size or upgrading it to the i7 processor, but that's the baseline models. But in my case, or my opinion, I didn't buy this computer for the specs. I bought it for its size and its build. But at the same time, the specs did actually impress me a lot more than I thought they were going to. So there you go, there's my review of the MacBook Air. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Maybe I helped your decision out a little bit. I think it's a great computer. I love it. I'm happy I bought this thing, and I'm happy that it is now my main computer. Not gonna lie, this is actually probably my favorite Apple product that I've bought so far. And that's saying something. I have a lot of Apple products. So if you enjoyed this, please be sure to click the little like button below the video. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button up there above the video. That will let you know on your YouTube homepage when I post a new video. I doubt you'll want to miss some amazing videos like this, right? Alright, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace out. Staring at a pomegranate starfish. Don't look too close. I know you're gonna dig this.
After eating all this, I gotta take a huge